Children, let's start with the making of the clapboard. Now you may wonder what is this clapboard. So clapboard is basically the sensor robot that we are going to make, the sensor based robot. And here we are going to use a sound sensor which will operate, this robot will operate on your clap. So basically a clapboard. So let us start with the making. This is the assembly or body of the robot. There are two spokes in your kit. So there is difference in height. One is longer, the other is shorter. So first of all, take the short spoke and pass it through these oval holes on the walls of this base assembly. So like this. And now to that we are going to fix the wheels. Just roll the wheels in this fashion. So make sure the wheels are not too tight, free, okay? In the rear assembly, we are going to need the longer spoke as we said, and we will also need this yellow colored small gear. So there are two gears, one is big, the other is small, so we are going to need the small gear. Put the spoke in the wheel, but only one wheel, okay? Pass the spoke through, say, the second hole of this assembly. Second, third, it depends on you. So I prefer second hole. So from the second hole, I am passing it like this. Yes. Now on this side, I am going to put this gear. I'm going to attach this small gear. Let us bring into picture one small device or instrument that is known as the Allen key. So these two sticks are Allen keys. We are going to take the shorter, thinner Allen key first. You will see small bolt-like structure here. It may be inside like this in the gear. So you just remove it, put this Allen key in the space of the bolt and then just rotate it so it comes out or goes in. So once it is out like this, put the gear in this fashion in the assembly. So rough side or tooth side inside like this, and fix this gear to the spoke. See, it is fixed. What did I do? I just took the Allen key, fixed it in this bolt and just turned it a little bit. So it is fixed now. On the other side, I will again put the other wheel. So this assembly here is done. If you feel that, okay, this is like moving a little bit here and there, make certain adjustments. We can move this gear assembly a little ahead if we want, like this. Okay, so in this fashion. Let us fix the motor. To the shaft of the motor, we are going to fix this bigger gear. This is housing of the motor. This is basically L-shaped motor, and this metal part is known as housing of the motor, and this is obviously the shaft of the motor. Take one bolt and this big gear. Put this gear in the shaft. So obviously this is not tight, it is going to come off. So we are going to fix this gear with this bolt. Now while fixing, make sure that this flat portion and the hole on the gear come on top of each other like this. Before that, let's do one thing. Let us take this bolt and put it in the hole. Just twist it a little bit, not too much, a little bit, otherwise it won't go in the shaft. This is the shaft and we will put it inside the shaft like this gear. Okay, make sure that this bolt comes on top of the flat part of the shaft, and we will tighten it with the Allen key, but the longer, thicker Allen key, and do not tighten it too much because this is a geared motor. Do not tighten it too much. Let us take this motor, and now we are going to fix the motor in such a way that this gear comes on top of the small gear. The big gear comes on top of the small gear. So we have to fix this motor in that fashion. So let us see. Align the holes on the assembly or housing of this motor to the holes on this base plate. And while doing that, make sure that the gear, red gear, is on top of the small yellow gear. So it looks something like this. And we will fix it with bolts. So let us fix this with bolts. Let us take it a little ahead here and see. Yes, this matches perfect, if you can see. Like this. See, this matches perfect. So, putting a bolt through the base plate, downside of the base plate to the housing, through the housing of the motor, and while putting the bolt, again make sure that do not tighten it too much because this bolt is going to directly touch the motor and it may hamper the gears inside, as this is a geared motor, not just a random DC motor. Okay, so this is done. Okay, now this gear has perfectly come on top of the small gear. The bigger gear is on top of the small gear. Okay, don't try to move this. Okay, now let us go to the PCB. First of all, keep this small mic-like thing away and these two wires away. This green section is for fixing the motor. So we are going to fix this PCB on top of this board in this fashion using spacers. These are the metal spacers. Okay, now let us start. First of all, let us fix these spacers to the PCB and then we will fix them on the base plate. Okay, so pass bolt through the spacer, through the PCB holes here like this, and then pass two washers. Okay, like this. Then just put the spacer on top of it in this fashion. We'll do the same for the other one. Here goes the bolt. Here goes the washer and the spacer, like this. So you have 4 holes. It is your choice where you have to put it. I've put it like this. So I'm going to put my PCB in this fashion. Okay. You may want to put one spacer here and one spacer here. So it's completely up to you how you have to do it. I like it this way. Okay. Now let us fix this with, of course, bolts and washers again. So let me put the washer and put it like this. I'll have to use the Allen key on the other side and fix it like this. PCB is fixed. Now I am going to fix the motor. So as all of you know, remove the insulation and bring all these wires together on both sides. For this part, you are going to need a screwdriver. So all of you have a screwdriver at home. We need a narrow-headed screwdriver, of course, and we are going to loosen the bolts in this green part. Okay, so just loosen them a little bit. One wire, just make a hook and put it in this. Let me show it from your side. Put it in this space like this. Okay. In this green space. So if it's not going inside, just loosen it a little bit more. This wire you have to put in this space like this and tighten the bolt on top. Okay, look at this. Should not come out. So on the other side, we are going to do the same. Loosen this. Make a U and then put it inside the space of the motor holder and fix it like this. So it is gone. Done. So these black and red wires that are here, these 2 wires, one is brownish, one is black, so you can put it anyhow, doesn't really matter. Now let us put this aside and bring the sensor into picture. The mic-like thing I told you to keep aside before is nothing but a condenser or a sound sensor or a condenser mic. It has 2 terminals. We are going to solder these 2 wires which have male connectors to these 2 terminals. Any color, anywhere. You may have different colors of wires, and now you know that the color of wire does not matter. Take your wire stripper and if you want, cut off a little portion of this wire and strip some more portion. Like this. Bring it together and keep it aside. Till you do this, you have to do same with the other wire. Till you do this, just switch on your solder gun and take your solder metal. Okay, so I've already heated my solder gun. Okay. Now let us see what we have to do. Gently pull these 2 terminals apart. Gently, not harsh. Then to one terminal, wrap around this wire which has male connector on one side, and using the hot gun and metal, solder it to the terminal of the sensor. Soldered properly. You are not going to apply too much metal, just optimum soldering as we know. Perfect. Let us take the other wire, wind it around the other terminal, like this, and solder it. In this fashion. So these two are soldered. This is done. The soldering is done. Now it is time to power on the robot. So I'm taking this 9-volt battery that has been given in the kit. Removing this seal. Now it is up to you how you fix this battery here. For me, I am going to use a piece of double side tape in this fashion, like this, and fix the battery on the robot in this fashion. Now you can plug in this adapter socket and fix this. Snap. Now you know how to fix it. Nothing is happening. So this is the switch. Switch on, switch off. Push on, push off. Okay. In these female adapters, I am just plugging in the male adapters like this of this sensor. If you want, you can just put them through these holes and put your sensor as you want. It is completely your choice. You have to make sure that this gear does not slip off from the smaller gear. The red one should not slip off from the smaller gear. Okay, now let's switch it on and see what happens. Okay, so I'll give it a clap and we'll see what happens. Okay, first of all, you have to be very sure that the battery is 9 volts. If the voltage is dropped, you have to get a new battery. Okay, here comes the robot. Clap. It goes ahead. All the best.